Hey everybody, Paul Vaillancourt here, back with day 20, flippin' 5. Day 25 of the 30 pitches in 30 days project. We are in the homiest home stretch there is, y'all. So today's day 25, 25th pitch. I am feeling good, really excited to see sort of where it all goes. I think the thing that I like about the process now is that I am out of ideas. I'm out of ideas, so every idea mostly that I'm coming up with now is a new idea. I'm really sort of been for a little while, but now really just generating new ideas, and that's part of the project that I was like sort of seeing is like to have a lot of good ideas. You have to have a lot of ideas, and that's sort of where I'm at right now. And a lot of these ideas I really have liked a ton, like today's idea. Today's idea is sort of a combination of these two ideas: The Rock, not the actor, but the movie, The Rock, starring Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, and Michael Biehn. A lot of really great action guys in there. I really like this one a lot. And also this movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a classic sci-fi movie. And so I was thinking about those two, sort of putting them, rolling them around and putting them together. And what I came up with is this. It's called Alien Prison Break. It is an action, sort of a sci-fi action with sort of a comedy in it. Sci-fi action comedy is what I'll call it. And it goes like this. We see Tom, our main guy, leaving a bar one night, and he's not drunk, but he's not totally sober, and he's walking home, and he sort of takes a shortcut through these woods, and as he's walking through these woods, he sees a light in the sky, and then another one, and suddenly we realize that it's an alien ship, and the beam comes down, and it just abducts him. He's gone, and we see sort of inside the ship. The ship is itself very like organic and sort of good. It's sort of like the inside of an octopus, a lot of it, and it's just slippery and slimy and gooey and whatever. And we see a whole montage of all the different things that Tom is going through, all the different tests that he's put through, and all the different trials and tribulations, and it goes on for a long time, and then finally at the very end of it, he is sort of just plopped back down onto Earth, basically where they left him, and he runs home to tell his wife about what happened, but she doesn't believe him because all things he described took months at least, and he's basically home on time, maybe a few minutes late, but whatever. She thinks that he's just drunk and crazy, and she can't take it anymore, and she wants a divorce. As the story is playing out, the whole time there's a voiceover sort of tracking us through the story. It's Tom sort of tracking us through the story, and then as it gets to this point, now we come to present day, where it is him sort of on a really cruddy phone taping this, or sort of recording this story for his YouTube channel, which is all about his sort of alien experiences and trying to get the truth out there, and all this sort of like uncovering these hidden secrets. It's not a great channel. It's pretty cruddy, really, but it's something that he feels compelled to do. He has never moved on or been able to let go or move past this experience, and he's like on the verge of madness that no one really believes him. A few stragglers here and there believe him, but generally he's like just shouting into the void on this. And every year on the anniversary of his abduction, he tells the story again so that he won't ever forget. And this is that day, this is that episode. And so he is doing that, and his landlord is yelling down, quiet down there, quiet down there. We just realize that he lives in a basement. His life is just a total shambles since this abduction. He lost his wife, he lost his job, and now he's just like living in a basement that he basically can pay just a little bit of rent for with this terrible job. He wraps up the video and goes to his terrible job, where he basically cleans out muck tanks sort of that are at bus stations, a sort of collection of road grease and dirt and grime, all these kinds of stuff. They all go to these muck tanks, and then they have to be cleaned out, and that's his job. We cut to the White House, where we see the president of the United States, he's sort of wrapping up a day of work with the rest of the White House staff, and he says he's going to sort of step out onto the lawn for a little bit of fresh air, and so he does, and he's out there and he has a drink and a cigarette, just like a guy like really unwinding from the pressures of being the most powerful man in the world. So, but as he's out there, he sees a light in the sky. And then another one, and then another one, and we realize it's an alien ship. And pretty soon, they just abduct him up. Cut to another day at work for Tom. He's coming in, he's just getting on his muck cleaning apparatus and descending into the tank. And as he's in there working, cleaning out this disgusting mess, one of his coworkers says, "Tom, you got a visitor!" And he sees, he sort of looks up and he sees a couple of really sort of clean-cut government types that have come to talk to him. He's like, "If you want to talk to me, you got to come down here." He thinks, as has happened before, they want him to take down a video because it's too inflammatory and could conceivably cause a panic, and they want him to take it down. But today, he's just not in the mood. He's like, "I'm not taking down any videos. I'm not doing any of that stuff. You guys can forget about it." And they're like, "We're not here about that. We need your help." And then they sort of spirit him away back to Washington, D.C., and along the way, sort of explain what's happened. And since he is sort of someone who's been on the ground, who kind of knows, so to speak, knows what it's like inside an alien ship, they need him as an advisor. And he says, "An advisor? No way. I'm going. I have unfinished business up there." And so they, they're sort of at 6s and 7s, they don't really have any options, so they agree. And then Tom meets the team that he's working with. It is a collection of real hardcore, serious people. They're all the top of their game, special operations, special operators, SEALs, Delta, Marine Force Recon, SWAT, CIA, just whoever's like great. They've sort of scoured all their databases and found these people and brought them all together into this team. And there's also one other person who is a civilian advisor, one of the top scientists in this area, a specialist in alien energy signatures, who has actually helped them, who's been sort of the leader, sort of helping them to track this alien ship. They've never been able to do it before, but the research has really advanced because of this one civilian advisor, and so she's part of the team as well. And as she comes out, Tom sees it's Marcia, his ex-wife. Dun, dun, dun. And he's like, "No way, no way." She's like, "No way, no way." But the government people say, "Yes, you have to work together for the good of the country. We need to get the president back. It's super important." So they decided they can try to put their differences aside and work together. As we burst into Act 2, we see the team working together, training, and if Tom's going, he's got to train with these special forces people. He's clearly out of his depth. He's a guy that lives in a basement. He's like on the verge of eating cat food. He's really not prepared for this. But the training is grueling and brutal, but they sort of are figuring it out. Along the way, Marcia is trying to further her research and calibrate and fine-tune these energy signatures or detectors and broadcasters that she has. And Tom bursts into the room at one point. He's like, "What is going on in here? It's driving me crazy." And we realize that he can hear these frequencies, or he can perceive these frequencies. And so now he and Marcia are working a little bit closer together, trying to fine-tune these things together. Also part of this is sort of Top Gun style, Tom trying to give a lecture to these special forces operators about sort of what it's like inside the ship, but he's been sort of off the grid too long, and his lectures are almost totally nonsensical and just hard to follow and crazy, and the operators are getting more and more sort of pulled back from what's going on, what are we getting ourselves into, but we sort of follow this as we go. At the midpoint, Marcia's technology really comes together, and she's able to broadcast a signal that baits in this alien ship. And when it gets close enough, they're able to sort of turn on another apparatus that sort of instead of being abducted, it forces them into the ship. It's sort of a reverse abduction, and they are boarding the ship. Once inside, Tom is like leading them here and there. His memory, as much as he tells the story, his memory's a little bit hazy, but he's the best option they've got. He leads them here, he leads them there, all over through this gross, disgusting inside of an octopus ship. He's fine. It's much better than his day job, but it's pretty disgusting for everyone else, including Marcia. But finally, he does sort of come through and leads them to the president. And they free him from his cell, and they're just about to leave when suddenly, swoosh, there's a big iris opens, and a bunch of these alien troops are there waiting, and they try to fight their way out. It's futile. One of the special operators guys gets killed, and they know we're totally outgunned here. We're totally outmatched, and now they're captured. Tom's beside himself. He doesn't know why he ever agreed to this. He feels like, why did I do this? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not meant for this kind of thing. Maybe I am crazy. Like, I've been doing this too long. But as he's doing that, he's sort of like going through his memories of being on the ship before, what it was like, and he realizes there's something that he forgot. So even though he tells this story year after year, something that he forgot, and he used to use it to sort of bait in or sort of get a little bit of an edge on these aliens, and that is he like gulps in a bunch of air and then lets out a really wet, loud burp, and the aliens like swing around and they're like, what? It is something that's close to their sort of squishy, gross language, and they're like really captivated by it, and they sort of come in closer, or the guard comes in closer, and he does it again, and the guard's like, it's like if your dog started talking, what your reaction would be. That's what this alien's reaction is, and it gets closer and closer, and then boom, the special forces guys are able to grab him, even through the cell, and overpower him and get out. Now they're free. And as they make their way out, they sort of pass by a window, basically, and they see that, yes, they're free, but they're free on this ship because they are in deep space. So now they've got one last bit of the puzzle to work out, and they make their way towards the bridge of the ship, where through the element of surprise and Marsha's science and the things that Tom remembers, they are able to overcome the crew and force all of this crew of the ship into escape pods. And from the outside, it's basically looks like the ship is laying egg after wet, slimy egg. Bloop, 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 off into space. And now Tom and his crew have control of this ship, and the SEAL and other operatives say, look, let's bring it in low key, like off the grid. It would be great to have this ship and investigate it and just low key. Tom says, no problem. He's piloting the ship. He knows enough to do that. And he ends up landing it right in the middle of Times Square. And they're like, what are you doing? This is not low key. He's like, people need to know. People need to know. So this is his final sort of revenge, his announcement. Dun, dun, dun. That is real, everyone. I'm not crazy. We cut to a press conference where we see the president thanking Tom, calling him a hero, giving him a medal, and basically Tom's sort of over his shoulder, coaching him along. He's not crazy. This really happened. And then Tom keeps coaching with other, it goes deeper down the conspiracy hole. The Kardashians are using mind control technology. The fluoride is in the water to keep the population docile. That most food poisonings are the result of time shapers, like on and on. And finally the president like says, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. And then Tom leans in and whispers to him, and the president ends his speech with, please share, like, and subscribe, as Tom has done in his channel for so long. And the press conference is over. Tom has regained his standing. He's got a new job, and he's also regained his wife. Marcy sees what she loved about him, and she, along the way, has sort of apologized for the being basically his most outspoken critic over the years. She apologizes, and at first Tom has a hard time forgiving her, but then as he sort of examines his actions, he sees, I think I was pretty unbelievable, and so they sort of meet in the middle, and at the end of the movie, after the press conference, with their medals on and two heroes of a grateful nation, they share a kiss, and we feel like this is the beginning of the next chapter of their lives together. That's it. That's day 25. Alien Prison Break, day 25. Oh my gosh. I'll see you tomorrow for day 26. Thanks for watching.